Okay, kind of changed gears. I was looking through my leftover pieces to see if I had anything that I wanted to try and use up. And I'd forgotten about all of these. So, this is larger than what I need, but what I'm going to do is glue this together. So they'll just be a little bit more stability, because it is just the envelope. Okay. All right, so there is that. Let me glue this little. I imagine I could probably get one that looked better on the back. Oh, I don't know. Well, this one probably does look a little bit better. Okay, I think I'll just make it work. Make it work. Okay, so a pencil mark on there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to use the top part of this sheet. And I actually only need this sheet to be as big as this page. And it's probably going to be cut down a little bit from there, but I'm going to go ahead and just make it the same size. All right. Okay. Okie dokie. And I want to use this top part where there's not, any of the flowers or anything in it. So now I'm going to have to run this through with the die again. So I am going to, let's see, I actually need it this way. Let's center this. And I actually think, because I can't run my, let me see, where are you? Oh, I guess I didn't put it back. I was looking for, oh, here it is. I was looking for my repositional. It doesn't work very well, so, because it's pretty old, so I'm putting a lot on it. Okay, so up above the edge and center for a moment. Okay. And then I want to center this from edge to edge and see how I'm doing. Okay. I think that's going to work right there. So I am going to lay that down. I'm going to remove my repositional tape. It actually worked. I guess the secret is putting enough down. All right, so am I going to be able to fit this into this one? Even though it doesn't like it when you run it flat, I am just going to put it right on here. Oh, I don't know. Is that going to... Yeah, that is not going to work on that one. So I'm going to have to get my big one out. Get my big one back out. That's okay. That's what I got it for. I'm happy to have it. I am so happy to have it that I can do these things. Okay, let's just make some room here. Gotta make some room. Get out, big mama. Okay, little housekeeping here. Put this away for a moment, and now I think I've got some room to bring this out. Okay, now it's just if my microphone is long enough. Yeah, it is. Okay. This is a heavy sucker, but I tell ya, I have greatly enjoyed having the ability to do larger things. Okay, and I'm going to kind of put it in sideways because it does not like when you have it straight on and it has to roll over the whole thing at one time. That will kind of screw up your rollers. All right. There we go. And it cut it out very nicely. Let's just hope it all matches. Now, I had this in here because this has got a little bend in the center. There we go. Put this back. I just don't need to pull my camera off by running my mic, pulling on my mic cord. Okay. Here we go now. Let's carefully, and let's see how we did. And I want to match it right up to it. And make sure, oh, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I can just cut it down the width that I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'll just leave the repositional. You can rub that off if you are so inclined to. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a moment. I need... Okay, this is definitely long enough. Let me cut it right here. Okay. Make a score. Half inch. And, well, it doesn't really matter, but... And I'm going to glue this down. Right like that. And now... Okay. And now... Oh, I guess I could have measured it and cut it first. Duh. Okay, let's get... That's right there. And I want it to come down to... Right there. There's my mark. Okay. Now, just match that puppy right up. Let me flip it over. Make sure. All right, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to cut this the width that I want. So this is the exact width, and I don't want it to be nearly like that. And I am going to put something along the bottom here because this is not cut straight. I don't know what I did, but it's not cut straight. I might have had this crooked. I don't know. But let's do right about there on both sides. I think that'll work. So I'm just going about 1/8 of an inch in on both sides. Okay. So it leaves a nice little border. Okay. Now I need let's see, is that enough? Yeah. I'm just going to, that's one. I need another one. Oh, wait a minute. These two will work. Okay. Board. There we go. First, I'm going to do 1/2 inch. So do I want to do, then I'm going to do, see, I got to get this right. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and then I'll cut 1/2 inch. So we're making a small accordion pocket. Yay! I finally told you. Sorry, I get it in my head, and you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know what I'm doing. I know you guys are saying, hey, throw me a bone here. Don't know what you're doing. Well, that's just the way I roll, ladies. And I can still say that because I don't think I have that many men watching me, if any at all. So, but if you guys are out there, thank you very much. I like men. I married one. I have 2 men children. So, you know, I like guys. I don't have a problem with guys. My husband is very crafty himself, but he doesn't work with paper. He works with metal. That's his thing. Okay. So there is our little accordion, just using that little 1/4 inch. And then we're going to, let's go ahead and fold this other one. Did I do that right? And then this goes this way. No, let's do this way. I'm trying to, this white paper has a linen side to it. And so I try and when I can use that linen side for That just does not want to look very straight to me. Okay, and then this final one. Flip her back over. Okay, and there is our little accordion. So, we're going to want, let's do the short end on our pocket. And then make a mark where we need to cut it off. So we'll have it down. I like to pull it away from the bottom about 1/8 of an inch so it doesn't bind up down there. So I think that will be good, and I probably will just cut both of these. There. I did it by hand. Ah! Okay, so I'm going to have the long sides to the back, short side to the front. And we can, just to help with bulk, clip this one out just a little bit. Of course, then I cut all my glue off. And I'm going to put this on the edge of the envelope, but up about 1/8 of an inch or so. Just a little bit. Actually, that is not... Let's see, where is my... Yeah. I'm working in my own shadow here. No, this needs to be a little shorter. A smidge shorter. There we go. All right. Right on the edge. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then this one. Yeah, I white on white, I guess I just didn't do very well. And this goes this way, so I'm going to cut a little bit off there just to ease some of the burden at the bottom. There we go. A little bit over. I want right on the edge. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, now you can do the next step 2 different ways. You can just take this and attach it to here. Flip the bottom around and be done with it. And then it's just an accordion pocket attached to your page. However, all the beautiful stuff will be covered up. So I'm thinking I'm going to make it have a back to it and flap it. And I am going to want to put another, let's see, I am going to need something down here to make this not crooked. Do I like that? Not really. Nope. Nope. But I will find something. I will find something. This is cute. And, oh, you're just a titch too short. Bummer. Bummer. And that wouldn't work. All right, let's see. What's this? Oh, tried that. Put these back here. Is that one too short? Yes. Oh, Bummer City. That's what I have to say about that. I don't have a piece long enough except for what I don't like. So, I think I am going to take a piece of this and I'm going to cover it with bits and pieces and just have it across the very bottom. So I'm going to cut it at the same length. Let's see how I did. Perfect. Okay, so this goes with my, I got to cover these up. Oh, right here. I think I'm going to get a paper clip or one of these. There. So I have those all together. Yay. Okay, so I think I am going to line this up and I am going to add an 1/8 of an inch accordion at the bottom so that it will have a little bit of room at the bottom, and that 1/8 of an inch is going to fit into the area where I didn't put any of this piece because I moved it up an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm glad that I have the option. And this will help you actually be able to use your pocket. If you give all the sides, you know, a 1/2 inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, but you give the bottom nothing, then truly you don't have a really good accordion pocket because it's closed off at the bottom. So you can only get so much in there. But if you open that bottom up, then you have truly all the way down a nice space for your pocket. I'm going to go ahead and glue the bottom piece to the bottom of these. Just make sure that you're getting it nice and squared up. Okay, that should hold now. Good. Make sure we didn't glue anything down. Okay, so now what I want to do is find myself, actually, oh, but I don't have a piece at all. I was going to say it would be really nice putting it on a piece of blue. But I don't have a piece of blue Let's see. You know, I think I am just going to, because I've already got an envelope that flips down. And if you do flip it down, I'm going to have a closure on it, but I've already done this. Okay, so I'm just going to glue it down. How's that? How's that? And if I printed out another piece of this paper, I could even, well, this is really, I like fussy cutting, but I haven't really found anything in here that I would really want to take on fussy cutting. Yeah. I think I'm just going to glue it down, guys. And we've made it, and then I'll have my little trim at the bottom because this got cockly-eyed when I was cutting it. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. I like it. Okay. Center. I'm leaving a little bit of an edge all the way around. And I think that's good. And one thing you want to do, let me get a piece of the scrap paper here, is I want to make sure I'm not going to glue down. I don't see any. Okay, didn't see any glue. So now we have a nice accordion pocket that even has that nice 1/4 of an inch bottom to it. So it will spread out a nice 1/4 of an inch, and that is truly a nice accordion pocket. Okay. Alrighty then. And that is going to go on there perfectly. We have done it! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Yeah, yeah, yeah! We got the pages done. We got the pages done. Come on. Stay where I put you. Stay where I put you. All right, gonna open this up. Just make sure it all gets glued down. This is just being funky over here. I don't know. I've just not figured this glue out yet. Just not figured it out. I mean, it definitely holds, and sometimes it grabs so fast that I think it's maybe faster grabbing, and then other times it's like, really? Okay. Well, that maybe it dried too much right here. Or maybe I didn't get enough glue in there. I don't know. There's plenty there now. But that's right where that pocket is. So we want to make sure that we're getting that down well. A little pencil mark there. All right, guys. We have 3 gorgeous sections in our book for our, yeah. Okay, now, I do want to have some room in between each one of these 3 pages. Approximately about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm thinking my spine with the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 of an inch. So that would be 1.5 inches for each one of these. And then another inch to put 1/4 inch on both sides of each one. So that's 2.5 inches is what I'm going to want my spine. And so I think that's what we're going to go with for the spine. So that kind of helped you figure that out. And that's 2.5, or that's in inches, or 6.3 centimeters. Okay. I think you can see that. Then my pages are 8 5/8, and I want to add 1/4 to that. So 8 5/8, 3/4, 7. So 8 7/8 is the up and down, and side to side is going to be, okay, so my pages are basically at 6.5, and I have nothing that's going to be sticking out on this side, you know, coming out the side, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to add another 1/4 of an inch, so I'm going to make it 6 3/4, or 17.2. 6 3/4, or 17.2, and 8 7/8, or 22.6, a little smaller than that, kind of in between the 5 and the 6. I don't know how you say that. 22.55, maybe 5. I don't know. I don't know if that is a proper way of writing it or not. But there you go. So write that down, and when we come back, we're going to be working on putting our book together. Whoop, woo! All right, guys. See you back here in a minute. I got to get everything squared away. Okay, guys, changed it up a little bit. Once I got my page cut for 6 3/4, I put my, once I got my cover cut, I originally had said 6 3/4. When I put my page down, it was way too far out. So for me, you can leave it that way, or you can make it 6.5. So easy fix. Take 1/4 of an inch off if you want to, if you already cut. So it's 6.5 by 8 7/8, or 16.5 centimeters by 22.5. And it's actually between the 5 and the 6, and I put 5 there, so you know. I don't know if that's actually how centimeters works, but that's what I did. And you'll need 2 of those. So we've got 2 of those. And as you can tell, I don't have matching chipboard. It doesn't matter. It all gets covered up. I also changed the spine. I had 2.5. And when I cut the 2.5, it was like, whoa, I just don't need that much room. So I did it to 2.25. So both ways, it's 1/4 of an inch off that if you cut it my original, you can just take another 1/4 inch off, or you can leave it because it will work either way you do it. So 2.25 or 5.7 centimeters by 8 7/8 or 22.55 centimeters. I don't know if you can read that. I couldn't find my black Sharpie, so I got my metallic silver one. So there, and then it's, of course, I picked the wrong sizing there, 22.55. You guys will have to let me know if that's right. I know there's a gal in Europe on my Facebook group. Maybe you'll let me know. Sheila, I think. Okay, that is it for that. So we're going to go ahead and get our blue paper out and see how many of these. Hopefully I will just need 2 of these to get this done. And I am going to get out my 1/4 inch score tape. There we go. All right, there we go. Noise taken care of. All right, find the beginning. There it is. Then find a fingernail that can get it. Okay, let's get these 2 pieces together first. I think you all have watched me do this enough. If you are just joining me, don't pull your tape or stretch your tape. It will stretch, and that will just cause your paper to buckle a little bit and doesn't lay down as nicely as you would like it. So never stretch your score tape. Alrighty, take this off. So all we're doing is attaching one sheet to another, and hopefully this will get it. And you just use your score tape as a measure so that you are going to maintain a straight piece of paper. And there we go. Burnish that down really well. All right. So now let's see. Oh yeah, this will be plenty. I do believe this will be plenty. It'll be good. Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good. We like about 1/4 of an inch in between our spine and our 2 covers, our front and back cover pieces. So yeah, we're gonna be golden. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take the fine tip nozzle off of my glue here. And I'm going to start with my spine. This is going to be all covered up, so you really have no need. And I'm just centering it. So I've got about the same amount of space, top and bottom, of paper. Let's see. And trying to make it as straight as possible. Okay. Spread that glue out. Really try and make sure that you're getting it on all. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. Okay, there we go. Get your ruler, and we're going to use the ruler to also help maintain straightness. There we go. And to get our 1/4 inch in there properly. Okay. I really don't like when I get air bubbles, so kind of making this go all over the place is a good thing. Okay, so you hold your ruler against your spine. And guide that into place with your nice 1/4 inch. Oops. Boy, I tell you what. A lot of glue there. Okay. Let's see how it looks at the top and the bottom. All right. Make sure we're still at a 1/4 inch and we're still straight. Okay, now I'm going to flip it and get some good burnishing down. Get all that glue all over the place. Okay, flip it back over, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Okay. Lots of glue, but I don't care. I'd rather have too much than not enough. Okay, and that is really not straight. Okay, let's see. Just measuring to make sure I'm at a 1/4 inch everywhere. Yeah, this one moved in on me just a little bit. I don't know if it was just there. I think I got it. Yes. Okay. Try not to let it move. See, another reason why I cut my spine down from 2.5 to 2 1/4 is you do leave this 1/4 inch in between each spot. you know, in between both the front and the back cover and the spine, which still gives you more room on the front and back cover. So that is another reason why I cut that down. And I don't like my spine to be too large. I don't think 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 is too large at all, but it doesn't need to be larger than it needs to be. Okay. So there we go. Probably used more glue than I needed, but at least I am prepared for... Yeah, I get my fan. I'm burning up now. I was cold a little while ago, so I put this little light jacket on, and now I am burning up. It's all this hard work I'm doing. Oh my gosh, I love this. I just love this. I really do totally, absolutely 100% enjoy everything about crafting. It's just my cup of tea, man. It's I don't know. It's talking to you guys is probably the highlight of my day, you know, as far as crafting. Now, what did I do with my, there it is. And I don't know. This is all so fantastic. And you guys are fantastic, and I don't know, this is just fun. And then, you know, like to be able to do a collaboration with somebody who you don't know. She's in my Facebook group and I'm in her Facebook group, but you know, we don't know each other, but we're getting to know each other because we've been chatting back and forth about this. I'm just giving this a few seconds to dry because I did put like a large amount of, excuse me, oh my goodness, and then I burp. Isn't that wonderful? A large amount of glue on. I can go ahead and I'm going to leave myself a nice 1/8 of an inch or even a little bit more. And I like to cut my corners not straight across, but at a V. When I cut mine straight across, there's people that can do it. I sometimes don't get my corners covered. So, because I cut at a bad angle. And because you guys know me and straight doesn't always work. Let's see, I can choose. I go upside down this way or upside down that way. Okay. I'm just going to start getting this paper trained. I'm training it. I'm going to beat it into shape here. And, you know, I could cut this off, but it's not really worth it. And it will work the same whether you're bringing it all the way up or you bring it up just a little bit. It works just the same. So if you feel better about having it equal all the way around, then go for it. It will work just the same. Okay, so it's starting to be a happy camper about being bent. Remember where you have it doubled to make sure you give it ample pushage and such. Okay, all right, so now let me get my 1/4 inch tape. Nope, where'd I put it? Just had it right here. Brand spanking new. All right, so now I am going to put my tape on all of my chipboard. And I am just kind of folding it around so it's all one piece. You don't have to do that. You can break it, but I just find that it's a pain in the tushy. Am I allowed to say that? Pain in the tushy? I hope so, because I just said it again, didn't I? Okay, so there's one. I do not spread my tape across my little gussets here. I don't do that. I have seen people do it, and it totally works for them. I like to be able to work my paper down in there. So I find that putting the tape across at the top and the bottom, come on, fold for me, doesn't always allow me to work my paper down in there. So therefore I don't. Therefore I don't. Okay, and one more. But you can totally, if you want to do it this way, where you just tear it off and start again. You want to get it on the edge of your chipboard. Remember not to stretch your tape. All right. Now, if there's anything that you are going to do on your book, like, you know, something special on the cover, if you want to do some special stitching or anything like that, I'm trying to think while I'm talking to you about it, if there's anything that I want to do. I'm kind of under the gun here to get this done. I'm supposed to have this posted tomorrow. And so I got a lot of work to do to get it done. But I still want to have it beautiful. So I'm just racking my brain trying to think if there's something that I would like to do that's a little different. So I don't know yet, though. I just don't know. Because this is a very springy, pretty color paper, and I would like to bring something to this that is going to be, you know, really kind of special and pretty. So, trying to think of something I can do. Now, please notice I have burnished every piece of score tape I put down. Take the time to do that. Burnish every piece, even a couple of times. You know, just make sure you're getting that down. I also am going to take my 1/8 inch tape and put it down the center so that when I work my paper down there, that I have something that's going to grip it. And just kind of set it down in the center. You can use your 1/4 inch tape if you'd like. Either one works just fine. I have no fingernails. They have all broken. It's driving me bonkers. Just absolutely bonkers. I am so used to having fingernails. And this one, 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 this one broke. Yeah. So I got no picks, no nothing. Driving me nuts. Okay. What can I do? Let's see. Let me pull out a few things. Let's see what we can do here. Which color yellow did I like? I think that one's a nice color on that. I think that's a nice color on there. Since I'm doing all blue, okay, so we can go ahead and actually finish this part of the process. And then I think I'm going to do something fun. And I may not do it on camera, but I will show you how I'm going to start it. Okay. So I'm going to start with this down here. I'm going to go ahead and take my score tape off. And I'm going to take the score tape off down where it is going to be touched by this. All right. And this one I'm just going to fold back. Pull this one. Fold it back. And then this one I did singly, so I'm just going to pull these two. Fold them back, and I'm also going to pull my little 1/8 of an inch up. Okay. All right. Get some glue and run it along. I want to make sure I've got you in camera. Run it along the spine. The edge where the paper is going to go over the edge of the chipboard. Work that glue in to the paper a little bit. It also helps moisten the paper in those areas. Okay, for right now, I'm going to put this one back down. And I'm going to put, let's see. No. We'll just leave it up. No need in getting. So we're going to start in the center. And I'm just going to push that down. I want to pull it nice and tight. Push that down. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to get my bone folder. I'm going to grab hold and pull. And I want to work this paper a little bit so that it gets down in there before I put it down. Okay, be gentle. And then go ahead and pull the rest of that around. Now we're going to do this side. Pull the paper up. Work that down in there. And then go ahead and bring that paper around the edge. Burnish down along the whole piece. So you want to burnish down at the edge as well as all of your piece. Okay, and then hold it up lightly and just give it a nice burnish against that glue that we put down there. And that will give you a nice flat surface. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to do the other long end. You can go ahead and push these back down to cover up what still needs to have a cover on it. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go ahead and remove the score tape backing for the locations that we are going to be covering. And this one I'm just going to break right in this area. Or we'll just take our scissor. Get these little 1/8 of an inch jobbies up. This is a little more time consuming than just taking it all off, but I find that it gives me a little more control and I'm not sticking my hands down on all of the stuff that I really don't want to have my hands or my shirt, or, you know, I do have 2 dogs in the house. I try and keep them at bay in here, but they do come in from time to time, as you all know. Okay. All right. Work that glue into the paper right there. All right, so here we go. Same thing. Let's really push up in the center. Now I'm going to grab, and I'm kind of pulling in this way a little bit. I'm going to find that I'm just doing the best I can. If I can't get it down to the sticky 1/8 of an inch tape there, I'm not worrying about it. I'm just trying to get it as nice as I can. And then I'm just going to take and pull the rest of this over. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. See, this is why I leave that tape on, because I put my arm over here to hold it down. Now this time I'm pulling this way a little bit with the paper, and I'm pushing firmly enough, but it only after the first one, because I kind of know what the paper can take now. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Okay. Burnish everything. Put your little papers back down on things. Now you can lift this one up and gently give it a scraping across so you get a nice flat square. If you need to lay it down to square it up on this side, do that. And you see, I don't know if you can see, you see here, I've already started putting those in, and I haven't even bent the book yet. It's already starting to do just like a regular book does. That's why I like to do that way. I am going to go ahead so that we're not so messy over here. Snip these little flyaway pieces off. This one's fixing to come off. So that you're not getting confused as to what you're looking at or something. Okay, so I took the tape backing off. Let me get this. I took the tape backing off across here. And I'm going to take, I'm going to take it off on the cardstock. Okay. And I'm going to put some glue. Now this time we're going to put glue in the corners. That's it, just in the corners. Just squeeze yourself a nice little bit of glue in the corner. And then we're going to, and you can do it one of two ways. I've seen people just squish it down, or I've seen people coming around the sides like this. I kind of do both. I come around the side, and then I also make sure that it is down flat around the edge. And this is what covers your corners up. Okay, and if you glue it, then you glued that paper down, and it's not going to pop out with use and stuff. It's going to stay there. If you don't glue it, I'm also putting glue on those spots for when I flip this. So now we're going to work that glue. Okay, we're going to come up the center, push just like we did, and then move this way and move this way. Okay, and again, we're going to burnish everything. Get on your edge of your chipboard. You can round and mold your corners. And then give yourself a little flat edge there too. All right, so there is my nice, pretty corners. All right, so same thing over here. Let's take this one off and this one off. Let's get the corners done. Okay, so we're going to bring it around. So just like turning a corner, just make sure you're dragging that paper along with you. And then just work it into that glue and make sure that it is truly coming around the edge of your chipboard. And this one I probably cut a little too close. I like to have a little bit more than that, but it's fine. Now we're going to put glue on top of that spot and all the way across to on top of the folded. Work your paper into your glue. All right. There we go. And I am putting a lot of pressure on this so that it lays down nice and firm. score. Burnish, I mean. Score? What are you scoring? 7 years ago. Okay. And push on those corners. If you need to round them a little bit, just kind of give it a little bit of a burnish. Get your edges. See, remember, while that glue is wet, that paper will move around better. So that's another reason we really like to put some glue on those corners. So now we have nice, pretty corners, and my book is a happy camper because it's got lots of room. Lots of good room. Okay. Now, I'm going to get off. I'm going to try and figure out what I want to do and how I'm going to do it, and then I'll return. Just bringing you along for the ride, kind of, sort of. I had this very old set. I don't think they still, this was Stampin' Up, and it was back when, you know, making all those holes and stitching, or just having holes was like a big thing. But I took this one that just has the holes across it. It's just a bunch of holes. And anyway, I lined it up on my book, and you might, no, I don't know. I've got holes on both sides of this ribbon. I did all the holes first, and it goes all the way across. And I don't know if you can, yeah, there, you can see the holes there. And then I put this an eighth of an inch, blah, 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 an eighth of an inch score tape, and then I'm putting this trim. And then I'm using blue to go over it, and I'm thinking I might put a bead on each one, like a small pearl, maybe, on every crisscross. So I just wanted to kind of let you know how I was doing it. I will not bring you along for the sewing because that's going to be really stinking boring. Really stinking boring. I'm going to sit in front of the TV and do it. So, and I know you guys would be sitting in front of the video machine, but yeah, I just, now where'd my other one go? Here it is. I've had this yellow, very, very bright yellow trim for a long time, and I'm finally getting to use it. You know, everything that you find, you know, that's why I hate getting rid of anything. Because everything you find, you might go, oh my gosh, you know, that is really bright. But one of these days, there's going to be something that I'm going to want that for. And today is the day for this little bad boy. I'm sure we all have had those moments. I knew I was saving that for something, and this is just perfect kind of thing, you know? So I'm just getting this down in between my holes. I knew I wanted to do something different. I'm getting, you know, I love doing mini albums, but it just seems like, you know, they need to be more to me right now. I need more. So then I'm just going to bring this over. And, I mean, this might not be everybody's cup of tea. And it is going to be labor intensive, which, you know, I'm probably not going to get the hours of work, you know, when I sell this. And I certainly do have a sore arm from holding and pushing, and but anyway, I think it's going to look really cute. And then this, will sit right in between it. So, hope so, hope so. And I'm thinking I will have no closure. I'm thinking that I will just have the book. Because I don't think it's going to be like real fatty or anything. I think I've left plenty of room. Here are the 3 pages. In it. And when I push them all to one side, you can see there is plenty of room. So this is going to be a nice size. Even when I put like a nice waterfall on one side and maybe a big gigantic pocket on the other, this will still have lots of room in it. So plenty of room to be getting all your pictures in. So anyway, just thought I'd bring you along for that. I'm going to go and do some sewing now. And then when I'm done with that, I will come back, show you what it looks like, and we'll get this done, and we'll get our pages, this piece all covered up and our pages in. And then we'll do the inside, front, and back cover and decorate. All right, guys. See you back here.